Hey there, my liberated junkies. For those of you following me on Instagram, both of my accounts, you actually know today's topic is on blessings. Why this topic? Well, it's kind of like reflection on what's been going on the past few weeks, actually specifically the past 2 weeks. And it's been amazing. Like, I'm gonna write down like at the bottom like everything that happened, because each time I try to write something rather lengthy on Instagram, well, it either disappears or it just uploads the picture on its own without the wording, not even the hashtags or anything. So yeah, I don't know how that works out. But it always happens. It always happens. And the last time it happened, I was so devastated. So I just started like getting into the habit of taking a screenshot and then writing it down in my little notebook. Something. So I'm like, why should I just keep everything in a book and not share it? So I'll just talk a little bit on it, and you'll just read whatever it is I had planned to post up and share with you guys. But didn't happen, but now it's going to be happening. The devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. But yeah, all right. Blessings. Like, this past 2 weeks have been, yeah, a handful. Like, it's been bad. Like, generally, like, it's been really bad. And I've been like, I think like before I went through a phase, like, I think we all go through like, oh God, why me? Or da 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 da, all that crazy stuff. Like, it's not really crazy stuff, but it's reality. So it's like we just all go through that. Oh, why me? Oh, like, will it ever end? And so many bad things are happening, and I don't know what to do about it, and everyone else is happy, and I'm going through this, and I'm doing that, and all that stuff. So I just learned like not to compare myself to other people. That was just a few years ago, and I've been content with myself since. And as well, like, I've learned to be independent, and a couple of people are taking offense by that. Yeah, but it's not really a bother. And well, I did like go through a few things. Like, I don't know if I can go like deep into details because it's going to take forever. But what I believe is that God uses people to do his work. Like, we always look in all the wrong places. Like, okay, my blessing, or when's the good gonna come, or what's gonna happen, or what's this gonna happen. Like, we always expect too much, and when we get little, like just a little bit, we're always like, oh, like, we don't even recognize it is a word. We don't even acknowledge it is actually the perfect word I was looking for. We don't even acknowledge like, oh, it's a good thing that has happened. We just always like dwell more on like, oh, this happened. Like, it's all the negative stuff, and then the little positive that comes out of it, we always disregard it. So I was going through something last week, and I was like, now what am I going to do next, you know? And there comes a point in life where you're like, you actually realize that you can't do everything on your own, and people cannot do everything for you. Wake up call. Yeah, so never expect anything from anybody, and when you do get it, appreciate it. Like, I always appreciate people. I always say thank you. I always say I appreciate what you're saying to me, and like, it's just the way I am. Like, I can't say I'm good-hearted. I'm kind-hearted. Like, I can tolerate to a certain level, and then if all goes down, all goes down, right down, 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 down. Yeah. So I was going through a few issues over the week, and I was like, I think I'm just gonna let God handle all this. I'll just leave it in God's hands. I'm not gonna overstress. I'm not gonna overthink about this whole issue. I'm not gonna like yeah, do all the crazy stuff. And then suddenly, like, things started turning, like, things took a turn, like a different turn. And it wasn't like God talking to me directly, like, oh, Sheila, this, you know. It's like I don't know how to put it. Like, God uses people to do his work. Okay, let me just take an example. Like, I did put in a certain amount of capital to start up my business, right? Like, when I was working before and everything. So that was my startup capital. Like, I didn't want to ask anyone for money. I didn't want anyone to feel obliged. I didn't want people like, oh yeah, I helped you start this business, so you should do this for me. Like, I didn't want to owe anyone anything. So I started up with small capital. right? And from that capital I started getting like all the materials I needed and all that stuff. And like fortunately, with all the sales I've been making, I was actually able to use that money to like get a, like, I don't, it feels like when you capitalize on something, it's like an investment, you know. And it's like it's actually like a savings account kind of like you use your money, and then you start getting your money back in doses, you know. It's like you don't get everything back in one go, because once you get all that chunk of money, you just spend it, and that's it. Like I've been getting back, like I've already gotten back my capital like last year, so now it's just like working on managing what I've already started, and using like I'm still yet to master the whole accounting concept. I have someone doing that for me, but it's still a learning process, you know, like separating the original fee and the profit I'm making, whatever. I've just been bundling that whole thing up, getting my supplies and whatever, so I've just been managing that way. So I had last week when I was like so dead broke, like I didn't know. I was like, oh my god, like what am I gonna do? Like, okay, business wise, I'm talking about myself, business, my like generally, so like business wise, and I was, gosh, like what am I gonna do next, you know? So one fine day we had new neighbors move in next door, and I was like, yeah, I do t-shirts, I design t-shirts, and I do all this stuff, da 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 da. And they're like, okay, cool, like when you're free one day you should actually show us what you're working with and all that stuff. Of course, a week went past and I didn't do it until I needed to use her son as a model for the kids collection. I'm going to upload those soon, by the way. And I was like, yeah, this is the t-shirts I do and da da da. And then they were so impressed, like they ordered about 10 t-shirts. Yeah, they actually ordered like 10 t-shirts, and it's not like the cheaper ones that I normally make, the higher priced ones. And I just decided to give them 2 t-shirts for the kids because, well, of course I use the son as my model, and well, as a thank you, like that's just how I am. Ask me how I make my profit, I have no idea. Like I'm always giving and discounting and all that stuff, but it's coming to an end, it's coming to an end. Yes, yes, yes. So I keep on telling myself. And yeah, so I was like, oh wow, like wow, like I was rather like, I took a seat, like I just like took a step back, I took a seat, I said, and I'm like, so like I did need the money, and of course I have to work for that money. It's not just gonna come and sit on my lap and like do whatever it is I need to do with it. But then things like, okay, find the payment delayed, but I worked on the t-shirts, and I was like, while I was waiting, I was like, let me just go to my room because I have a few little secret compartments where I keep my money and all that stuff. So I went there, I was like, oh, I found some money. I was like, hallelujah. Yeah, so I managed to like pay off a few things, like my suppliers and the guys who actually do like a bit of work for me and everything. And then I was like still waiting. I'm like, okay, they tell me they're gonna pay me like at the end of the week, and I was like, but I need it soon. So like, and someone else gets in touch with me, and she's like, oh yeah, I need a t-shirt. I was like, oh, you need a t-shirt? It's like, yeah, how soon can you make it? And I was like so busy packing, I was so busy doing other stuff, and I was like, I hope you're not too busy, I know it's coming last minute and all this stuff. And I was like, hey, no problem, I actually love what I do, and besides I needed the money. So I got working on the t-shirt, so I did get my funds then. And you know, it's like, it was just like that kind of whole cycle. And then someone who actually owed me something actually sent me money by M-Pesa, and I was like, wow, like, you know, your blessings come in small doses, and people don't realize it. Like we always focus on the bigger picture and not look at the smaller picture, and where the smaller picture is, it's something that takes you like way far, you know. So yeah, that's just an example of what happened to me last week. Like it was actually a big deal for me, like a big deal, especially like the situation I was in and whatever it was I was experiencing then. So yeah, like God does use people to do his work. Like you don't need to stress, you don't need to worry. Like fine, worrying is a way of life, stressing is a way of life, but there comes a point where you just have to like let it all go, and you're like, wait, like listen up. Talk to yourself like, yo, I'm not gonna stress about it, I'm just gonna go to sleep, get enough rest, wake up in the morning, and do whatever it is you do best, but don't overstress, don't overthink, don't overdo whatever. Like, your blessings will just come in doses. Like, there's also times when I'm like really low and whatever. Like, my daughter just comes to me and she just gives me a hug, or she gives me a kiss, or she says, "Mommy, I love you." And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, yesterday I was like so stressed, under pressure. I asked someone for help, and well, of course, rude response and whatever. So I'm like, oh well, it's life. Like, I already appreciate like whatever it is you've done, and that was it. Like, I still show appreciation. Like, after all that, yeah, there's still some good in me, right? So yeah, and I was so stressed, I was so frustrated, and Kyla just comes, my daughter just comes, she gives me a big hug, and she's like, "Thank you, mommy." It's like, "I love you, mommy." Or she's, "Thank you for taking me to the doctor." And I'm like, wow, like, imagine like that feeling I felt inside. Like, I wanted to burst out and cry in the beginning, and then after that I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna burst out and cry of joy or appreciation or what. Like, I wasn't so sure, but yeah, like, she's special. Like, yeah, my daughter is very special. Like, I think she comes first in everything I do. She's like my first priority. And yeah, like, why wouldn't you want your kids to be your first priority, especially if they show so much love? They don't judge you, you know, like, they complain, they whine, they're kids, of course, but there's always something. Like, kids are just a blessing. Like, honestly, such a blessing. And the people I have in my life are such a blessing. My sisters are a blessing. Like, anyone who's brought like positivity in my life is a blessing. Actually, even the negative people are a blessing, because they actually make me realize like I can do much better. I deserve to be in a better group of be surrounded by a better group of people, you know. It's like they make you like realize like, so this is how the world operates, so I might as well like start sorting myself out and finding my way from there. So yeah, you have to count your blessings, people. You have to count your blessings. You have to appreciate it. Whatever comes your way, is whether good or bad, manage it. If it's good, way to go. If it's bad, find a way out of it. Like, it's not the end of the world, right? It's not the end of the world. And yeah, I'm sure God has better things. There's more in store for me, and I can't wait. Hallelujah. And I actually didn't go to church today. I've still yet to look for a new church. But yeah, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Stay motivated, stay blessed, and on to my next topic. You'll know about that on my updates and whatever. Until then, take care and have an awesome week. Bye.